listeners. You're listening to 18 Minutes with Satyal and Silwal. I'm Satyal.
And I'm Silwal, and we're a weekly podcast from the Himalayas.
When it's a Tuesday and it's 7:30, you know it's time for perspectives, conversations, and stories.
Welcome to the 70th episode of 18 Minutes with Satyal and Silwal. We always talk about self-reflection and looking towards ourselves before we do anything else. So Satyal sir has a few questions for me, I guess. If you want to answer them, please answer them along. If you want to share them out, why don't you comment? Please, we need some comments.
Yes, please. It's been 70 episodes.
We're still begging for it.
Okay, if you're wondering what sort of questions I'll be asking Silwal, there are 8 questions. And these questions basically revolve around Silwal's life, his view towards relationships, and his view towards work. So what I'm figuring is, if you have good answers to these questions, you know yourself a lot better, and that will definitely help you lead a life that's true to you. So let's see. Silwal always talks about knowing yourself. So let's see if he actually practices what he preaches. All right. Silwal, mate, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you nervous?
Yes, sir. A lot. So please, sir,
okay.
Easy question, sir.
Okay, I'll try it. It's not that the question is difficult or hard, it's your interpretation of the question.
Yes,
Alright, so question number 1 is...
Please.
What kind of a person are you characteristically attracted to in love?
What?
What kind of person are you characteristically attracted to in love?
So characteristically, bole to?
You go out, you see different kinds of people, right? But what, in your view, is a kind of set of characteristics you like in a person that makes you fall in love with them?
Okay, outgoing.
Firstly, is this a good question? You have no option. You have to answer this.
So I am already answering. So they have to be outgoing, people friendly. They need to like people for at least 16 hours a day. For the rest 8 hours, if they don't like people, I don't mind.
So they have to score high on people skills. They have to be
more in terms of they have to be good with people, because I like having friends and big people, like not big people, but
Silwal fancy big people. What does that even mean? How is he friends with me?
Big groups. Satyal sir is the most biggest person. So people skills boy. Has to be characteristically I'll be very specific. They have to be good towards animals and children.
Okay.
I'm very interested in. I don't know, man. There's so many things that I could say, but innately they have to be a confident person. They need to be self-assured, and they need to know what they're doing in life, because I cannot go out with clingy to people who don't know what to do in life, and they're like,
we need to do everything together. You need
exactly.
them to give you that
space. They
space.
need to know that they have their life of their own, and they're living their own life, and they're doing amazing shit. And that's the kind of person that I'm looking for. Confident, suave, outspoken sometimes, sexy, of course.
Okay. One note to the listeners is, and to you as well, I was reading this book, Thinking Fast and Slow. So there are 2 types of thinkers. So, there's system 1 thinking and system 2 thinking, right? So some people can think on the spot, and they can give great value addition on the spot. But then there are these other kind of people who need to go back, sit with the question, reflect, and come back with better answers.
Yes, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to work, and for the entire day I'm going to ponder upon the characteristics of the woman that I'd ideally fall in love with.
And then if you fall in love, if you have amazing children, Silva's going to thank me for the rest of his life.
You're not getting my first baby's name, never.
So what I'm trying to say here is, there are times when you may be in a discussion and you feel like you cannot really add value, or you might be lost for answers when I'm asking you these questions. It's alright. You can sit with the questions, and you can be a slow thinker and add value later on. So these are not just for impromptu answers, alright? So that was question number 1.
Satyal just hates me, so he wants me to do impromptu. You guys you can pause.
Yeah, that's one of the challenges of the podcast. Yeah, it is true. We're always, impromptu people. So question number 2 is, again, continuing with relationships, what difficult patterns of behavior are you prey to in relationships?
Prey to in Panigo? What does that basically mean?
Well, definitely, what it means is you're obviously not perfect. So what kind of behaviors do you have that makes it difficult for the other person who is in a relationship with you? So the idea is, if you already know that, then you're in a better position to have a better relationship.
Oh yeah, I'm moody. I'm like very, very moody. Sometimes I want them around. Sometimes I'm like, Even if I might love them, I'll be like, please don't be near me, because
Please don't bother me.
yeah, a lot of times, even though it seems like I like people and all, at the end of the day, I don't like people. I like cats and dogs more than I like people, because with people I have to listen to them.
Right.
I don't like listening to people sometimes, because sometimes it's just
And he runs a fucking podcast. He's like, you listen to me, I'm not going to listen to you.
No, more in terms of I like being with myself a lot. Get that because I grew up as a single child. I think that's one alibi that I have, where I say, because I know how to live with myself, I can be alone and not be alone at the same time. I can enjoy the time that I spent with myself without needing other people. So when they're in that zone, or when it's a relationship or anything, after a certain time of day, sometimes I just want to be with myself, and that might seem like, okay, he's too aloof, or he's too far. If I text people constantly, but after a while I might just disappear for a while. So that's one reason. Another is I have these weird adventures that I have in my mind, and if the other person does not agree with me, I'm like, you're not a fantastic person, so I need fantasies in my life where we can go on adventures. So I don't base myself a lot of times in reality. I'm thinking of
aliens, and how you might miss out on that.
Yes,
part
I'm
of life.
thinking of a lot of things that are way beyond the casual conversation of what you had in the morning, or where do you want to go in the afternoon. I'm thinking a lot of different things, and maybe sometimes that might be difficult, because they might want to have a very real conversation, and I might just throw the entire conversation off as a sarcastic remark, and if they don't understand that sarcasm, yeah, and I don't know how to show love, so I might not be the most outspoken person when it comes to showing love, because that's what my parents have told me from my childhood. You don't know how to say I love you, or and with women as well, because I have commitment issues, I'm never going to show them the love, even though I might do the things that are worth of loving and that show care and kindness and everything. I might not outright say it and show them with my face. I might throw it off as a sarcastic remark, which in turn might be taken off negatively, and which might be difficult for the person to live. And plus, I am a very messy person. My rooms are messy, so I'm a very dirty person when it comes to managing my room. So.
Okay, that's honest enough. Kudos. If you notice your answers to question 1 and 2, in 1 you said you'd want them to be people oriented, right? And then what you're saying at number 2 is
exactly.
So this is why relationships are hard, right? We cannot.
Yeah, we are very humans are hypocritical in nature, because what I think is, when I am alone and when I like to be alone,
and if that comes across as being that people person, then you'll hate them. You want that space.
I think at the end it comes down to balance. We talk about mood swings of women going through periods and everything, and men have mood swings as well.
All the time.
All the time. It's not 4 times a week, a month. It's every single.
It's actually 4 times a week, and then 4 weeks a month.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So that's how difficult men are to live with.
Okay, honest enough. I appreciate you for going deeply into these 2 questions. Next, let's move to number 3 now. This is not about relationships, but this is about work now. So, what do you think are your talents at work?
My talents at work?
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm gonna get fired.
Honest enough. He's gonna give you more honesty.
I know how to procrastinate while seeming busy.
Well, maybe not specifically at the work that you're doing right now, but maybe your skill set, how people around you can get the best out of you.
It comes down to I can be with those people who I'm working with and make them feel they're intelligent, they're part of the team, and they are much more than they basically can do. I don't know, somehow I do that to people, and deksu time where they feel confident just because I've said something to them a week prior or something like that. So I can base around that. I think so.
Well, is that a sign that you're going to be a motivational speaker in the near future?
Fuck no. I'm going to be unmotivational, but more in terms of I think I try to think in a different pattern whenever there's a group meeting going on. So a lot of times when there's a meeting and people are discussing about one thing, first of all, I might not be listening to them properly. That's a disadvantage which I've already told you.
Yeah, he's on his phone.
But more often than not, I'm thinking of the extreme possibility that might happen, and then come back to a tangible solution, which necessarily is not on the table. So that's where I think I bring that weirdness into it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not.
I would second that, because I know that every time we have a discussion, I know you will add value in a different way.
Wow.
So you think differently. So I would say that that's a good value addition. That
Apple hire me, think differently.
Okay, what more? Or is that it?
I think because I've just started work. So let me find
more on that in the weeks to come.
Yes.
Okay, so next question, number 4. What problems do you have around success and failure?
What problems do you have around success and failure?
Yeah.
Like, so do I comprehend that question?
So let's say, when you think of failure, are there certain idiosyncrasies that you have, or suddenly when you become successful, like for some people, their ego gets in the way the moment they start becoming successful. So maybe they would answer that I become very egotistical.
I think this comes down to I will have a very short burst of happiness, that excitement, to adrenaline when you've succeeded over something. Like if that is something that you've worked for a really long time, but the very next moment after that immense happiness that I get, I am sad, because the thing that I worked for the last few months or few weeks, that is ending. And then the next thing that comes to my head is, okay, so did that add value to my life? If it did, then that happiness keeps on rolling. I'd want to share it with other people, go out, have a good time. But a lot of times I'm already thinking about what's next. के गर्ने अब okay, this is done, but this has not actually, like, I consider myself to be just one person out of 7 billion people. So having ego and saying you achieve something means jack shit.
I like that.
Yeah, you actually might have turned one stone, and the wind is again going to blow it back. So the permanence of the works that I do will be inside people, not in the works that I do. So I try to see if the people that I've worked with or everything that I've done, did it impact them or not. Now, if I've not faced.
He's never failed.
I've never failed.
If you listen to this episodes.
No. A lot of times, failure in terms of when things have not gone the right way. Like, one thing that I'm very proud of is I will not let sadness be a reason for the next things that I do. I will always have a buffer in between where I this is thanks to Maury, this is thanks to a lot of books and everything, where I know that failure and sadness and everything is an emotion, and I will try to have a buffer time for them where I need to fully feel them before I then think maybe I should do that with my happiness as well. But happiness is easier, you're in that joy, you're in that ride. But a lot of times when something bad happens, because I know during my youth, I'm not young anymore.
Shit, don't say that.
Now, during a lot of times in the past, I used to react immediately if there was something that was not going my way. But slowly over time, I realized that
nothing goes my way. No, just kidding.
Nothing goes my way anyways. Now, having said that, it is about taking that buffer time, because a lot of stupid things happens if you don't take that buffer time. So if you just you
refer to the last episode.
Yes, exactly. I was talking about that. You talked about taking just that 3 deep breaths, or just holding off yourself, doing the next thing, or being there, being mindful. I think I've found my own way where I will just try to get away from everything, turn off from everything, and just be with myself, because I know I cannot harm anyone else, and I might not end up being stupid if I do those things. So yeah.
Okay, that's great. Just adding on to what you've said about continuing whatever you've done and not resting on your laurels, there's this fantastic article that I read which said, keep earning your titles or they expire. So if we stop doing the podcast, we cannot call ourselves podcasters anymore, because we've stopped doing it a long time ago.
Yeah, we're ex-podcasters.
So we have to continue doing this. If we want to live the dream, we have to continue this. Next question. How are you about feedback?
I like feedback with See, sometimes I don't like feedback when they're very directed towards criticism. I like positive feedback. I think everyone does like positive feedback. It's not like someone likes, I like negative feedback though. But a lot of times I do like when there is a hint of positivity in the feedback. Even if they're being very critical, I want some positivity coming out of them, which makes me want to listen to them and wants to appreciate them. So yeah, I don't mind feedbacks. I think feedbacks, because we've been in this education sector and all these sectors, we talk about how feedbacks will improve the next session that we do or the next work that we do. So I think feedbacks are nice. If someone say, like someone once told me I laugh too much, and that's difficult to do. Whoever you are, I've still not learned it. So your feedback.
We want you to continue laughing. You're the okay. So Amax is out of the podcast, so I don't know what you are, but then you're very important to the podcast. Maybe adding on to what you're saying, keeping a positive tone into the feedback. One thing that I've found very helpful, a tool for feedback, is the WWW and EBI method of feedback. So WWW stands for what went well. So you start with what the other person did well. So starts with a positive tone, and then the next phase is even better if. So what can they do better? And if you can be specific with your feedback, it helps. If you just say, you just give vague comments and say it's nice or it's good, then that's not helping anybody, right? So maybe that's something that...
Be specific in your feedbacks. That is very essential. A lot of times, kasto thyo? Oh, राम्रो thyo. That's the end. What is राम्रो? What's the metric for राम्रो?
And another thing I've found is, let's say about the podcast, if somebody says 18 minutes is too long, it's a difficult feedback for us because we've branded ourselves as 18 minutes with Satyal and Silwal. So a better feedback probably could be 18 minutes sounds a bit long. Can you divide it into segments and talk about different things in different quarters? Maybe that could be good feedback. I don't know. It's just
we're not
suggestion to ourselves.
We're not doing that. It's too easy to do it.
I was thinking of 8 questions, but we've run out of time. It's just 5 questions. Quickly reflect on the 5 questions. How was it?
Okay, that made me think.
Okay.
So
he's not gonna do any work today.
The entire day I'm like, fuck you, Satyal will ask me that.
So what do you suggest? There are 3 questions remaining.
Yeah.
Do we keep this for later, or do we just spell out the questions so that everyone can just mull over it?
Let's not put them in a surprise. So yeah, you can ask us the questions so that for the next episode, hopefully they will reply and they will have an answer.
Okay.
Please reply.
We'll also have this in the program notes, so in case.
Please, Satyal, don't forget.
I will do that. Said. Yes, taken feedback taken. Question number 6 is, what do you do when you have been frustrated by life? Question number 7 is, what kind of taste do you have? And
taste as in?
Taste as in preferences about different facets of life. And number 8 is, can you distinguish between your passing bodily-based emotions and your more rational thoughts?
What bodily-based emotions?
Now, can you figure out the difference between when you are being very impulsive and when you are more rational in your thinking? So we'll have them in the program notes. Hopefully you guys will go through it and answer them. Please. And if you want, we can do another episode where I actually answer the same questions again.
Yes.
So we'll be back again.
Or I might ask him new questions.
Okay, we'll be back
That'll
again
be work for me.
next Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. And one last thing.
It's never too late to start.